Episodes 5 and 6 of Agent Kim Reactivated cranked the dial from "this got interesting" to "oh, I'm fully obsessed now," turning a missing daughter thriller into a full-on emotional war story about a father who refuses to lose his child again. Picture this. You think you're just watching a cool K-drama about a mild-mannered office dad with a mysterious past, and suddenly episodes 5 and 6 slam you into a freezer, a welfare center, a hostage situation, and a raid on a sinister HQ, all powered by one simple engine. Mr. Kim will burn the world down before he lets Min-ji disappear again. These two episodes feel like the show finally saying, by the way, this isn't just about a rescue mission. This is about what happens when you break a man who's already survived hell once. Episode 5 opens like a memory that's been bothering Kim for years. We jump back to 2014. Young Min-ji and Mr. Kim move into their new place, and the show instantly repositions him not as some unstoppable assassin, but as a dad holding on to the one soft thing he has left in life. When Min-ji wanders off to play and gets trapped inside a welfare center, Kim's panic is raw. He's already lost so much, and this is where his overprotectiveness is born. When he finds her, he breaks down, and it's ugly crying, not pretty K-drama tears. This guy is hanging by a thread. Snap back to the present, and the episode becomes a relentless thriller. Min-ji is on the run, hiding inside a freezer after spotting Goldtooth, one of those greasy nightmare henchmen you just know is capable of the worst thing imaginable. He tries to lure her out like she's just another scared kid, but the show leans into how resourceful she's become. We're not just watching the hero's daughter, we're watching Min-ji learn to survive on her own terms. Every door she opens leads to another trap. She ends up in a welfare facility that's more prison than shelter, then out into the world again, only to be scooped up by a passing car that feels like a miracle until we realize it belongs to Ju Gong-chan. That's the episode's meanest twist. Min-ji thinks she's safe, but she's literally being driven deeper into the lion's den by one of the key villains. At the same time, Kim is chasing shadows. He finds an apology letter she left for him, and this entire action block into something painfully intimate. Every punch he throws later is now linked to that guilt, and the fear he might be too late. By the time the credits roll, Min-ji is effectively in the hands of Mr. Ju, and the episode has done exactly what a mid-season pivot should do. It guts you emotionally while loading the gun for the next hour. Episode 6 says, "You like pain? Let's add nostalgia." We open in 2006 on Jeju Island, where Kim, Jin-chul, and Han-soo are on a mission to protect the U.S. president's daughter during her vacation. It's a clever bit of character work. Kim is quietly focused on eating his meal, while Jin-chul and Han-soo are literally choking each other out in a childish fight. And yet, this chaotic trio is supposed to be the shield between a VIP and the world. You see the old camaraderie, the way Kim used to function inside a team instead of this lone wolf forced back into the field by tragedy. Back in the present, everything is falling apart. Han-soo gets captured, Jin-chul is cornered, and Min-ji is now trapped with Mr. Ju in SMD's orbit, facing a different kind of interrogation, psychological rather than physical, as people like Guk-chul probe what she actually knows about her father. These scenes are so tense because Min-ji's knowledge is both her shield and her curse. The more she understands about who Kim really is, the more dangerous she becomes to the villains and to herself. What really makes Episode 6 sing is the way it intercuts their separate struggles with Kim's inevitable storming of SMD headquarters. This is where ordinary office worker peels away completely and legendary Black Ops operative reactivates. And you can feel the show winking at the webtoon roots without spoiling future beats. Kim isn't the guy with the biggest gun. He's the guy pulling strings, literally so Han-soo can break free, Jin-chul can press the advantage, and Min-ji's rescue becomes a coordinated extraction instead of a desperate scramble. By the end of the episode, Han-soo and Jin-chul manage to reach Min-ji, while Kim closes in to complete the rescue. The actual reunion between Kim and Min-ji is exactly the emotional payoff the show has been teasing since she first vanished. It's not some clean, triumphant hug. It's this trembling moment where both of them realize how close they came to never seeing each other again. And the episode quietly shifts the question from can he find her to what happens now that he has her and the enemy is still very much alive. Taken together, these two episodes sharpen the show's core theme. This isn't just about a super soldier returning to form. It's about a parent who sees his own past violence crashing into his daughter's present. Episode 5 foregrounds Min-ji's independence. She's hiding, running, thinking on her feet, while Episode 6 reminds us that Kim's rage isn't abstract. It's grounded in very specific failures and near misses, from the welfare center in 2014 to every moment in the present where he arrives just a few seconds too late. There's also a subtle commentary on systems that look like they're meant to protect kids, but actually feed them into darker networks. The welfare center and the SMD setup both feel like institutions that swallow vulnerable people and erase them, which makes Kim's one-man crusade less of a vigilante fantasy and more of a desperate counterattack against a machine. And because the show is based on the ongoing webtoon Manager Kim, which leans heavily into brutal retribution and catharsis, you can feel that DNA in how these villains are being lined up for a serious reckoning later, without the drama having to spoil those beats yet. Episodes 5 and 6 are the show finding its rhythm. Episode 5 plays like a pain marathon, brutal fights, car chases, and gut-punch flashbacks, but always tethered to that simple father-daughter core. Episode 6, on the other hand, feels like a balance patch, flashbacks for heart, present-day tactics for adrenaline, and just enough humor in the Jeju sequences to remind you these guys used to be more than their trauma. If, like me, you haven't read the webtoon, these episodes are actually the perfect argument to let it stay that way for now. The show is clearly borrowing major beats from Manager Kim, but it's also remixing them, and part of the fun here is not knowing exactly how far they'll go with the violence, the revenge, or the conspiracies. Right now, the series is playing fair. It gives you just enough answers to keep you satisfied, Min-ji being found, Kim and Min-ji almost reunited, but leaves the larger enemy structure and Kim's full past as a ticking time bomb. So, if you're already hooked, episodes 5 and 6 are the You're Not Going Anywhere chapters. They turn Agent Kim Reactivated from cool new Netflix K-drama into I need the next drop on my calendar. And they do it not just with twists, but a father-daughter bond that's messy, painful, and absolutely worth rooting for. Before Netflix drops the next episodes, make sure you're fully caught up with my other reviews in this series. I've got spoiler-filled breakdowns for every episode so far. So grab a snack, hit that playlist, and keep the Agent Kim marathon going. Hey, want more Right Flicks reviews? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it.